Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys a brand new 2020 album review. And today we're going to be looking into the new album from the band Napalm Death entitled Throes of Joys in the Jaws of Defeatism, which was released today through Century Media Records. Now, everybody should probably know or at least heard of Napalm Death if you're a fan of like extreme metal, grindcore, death metal, bands like that. These guys have been around since 1981 and they're from the UK. And these guys have been around, like I said, been around for a long ass time, almost 40 years. And these guys pretty much have so many lineup changes. In fact, there's no original members left, but ever since probably around Harmony Corruption, they pretty much had a steady lineup consisting of Shane Embury on bass, Mick Harris on guitar, or Danny Herrera on drums, and the great Barney Greenway on vocals. And like I said, these guys putting out so many albums since their first album Scum in 1987, and this is the band's overall 16th full-length album. This is the follow-up to their 2015 album Apex Predator Easy Meat. And with this album, does this kind of like exceed after like 5 years of since the last Napalm Death album would kind of live up or exceed what it has? In my honest opinion, I think it definitely has. I think, in my opinion, Napalm Death can do no wrong. Like they just one of those bands that for me just never fails to release a bad album. And like definitely like Napalm Death are pretty much in the grindcore stuff, but they also have hints of like death metal and even a little bit of like punk influence, like even like musically. I remember their cover of Dead Kennedy's song Nazi Punks Fuck Off. But yeah, it's a good song, and just vocally, I just like Barney Greenway's vocals. His vocals kind of sound just brutal and heavy, but and also have a little bit of like a melodic kind of undertone a little bit. That's mostly in like I don't know, just like when it goes into like some slower stuff. It does sound with this album is a little bit different. It has some different styles and tones to it. So it's not like just like playing like 2 second long songs like like You Suffer. But anyway, music guitar wise, the guitars go pretty well. Well, Mitch's guitar is great. The bass from Shane Emery is pretty audible, and drumming wise, Danny Herrera is like all over the place with the drums. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is the opening song called Fuck the Factoid, which is a excellent opening track, which just packs a punch as soon as you first hear it. And it's just an onslaught of just heavy and aggression, and it just crushes, but it also has a little bit of like melodic undertones, and it also has a killer bass line in there. It just sounds like old school Napalm Death. Really good way to start up the album. And then we move on to the next song on the album, which is called Backlash Just Because. And the riffs in this song just tear and just rip like nothing can do no wrong. And just really what stands out in this song is like the chorus, which just sounds very maniacal. And I feel like it just really just as it gets over and closer to the end, it just climaxes with just insane riff and it just makes you just want to mosh. Anyway, moving on to The Curse of Being Enthralled. Now, this is a very heavy sounding track, and this is pretty much where Napalm Death shows their thrash side in this song, and it's just a great headbanger. Makes you want to bang your head. Anyway, next song on the album is called Contagion. And this has a great opening riff. Like, it's very slimy sounding, if I could to describe it. It just increases also in the intensity and tempo, and it just goes pretty much hand in hand, just with the intensity and tempo, like I said. And the chorus actually sounds a little bit melodic, and the vocals change for a little bit of a break in like the heaviness and the intensity. But then I feel like the second chorus, it just increases with that intensity. Another great song. They move on to Joe del Nepaveri. Probably butchered that. Now, this song is a very menacing sounding track, and it pretty much sounds like a very industrial sounding, so it's pretty much another interesting song. Anyway, Invigorating Clutch, which starts off very dark and also feels a little bit black metal in terms of like the dark atmosphere and pretty much the slower kind of like tempos. Those in the slow or song, like I said, and the vocals here just sound brutal. Zero Gravitas Chamber, I really like this song a lot. It's another great song. Like, all these songs are pretty good. Then we move on to Fluxing of the Muscle. That is a very catchy riff and one of the most grooviest of the bands, which almost kind of like sounds something like their mid 90s period, like something from I don't know, probably like Harmony Corruption or even the diatribes and stuff. But yeah. Then we move on to Immoral, well, which musically, this song sounds like something off of Killing Joke. It sounds very catchy as well. And I'm also getting like a little bit of an old school punk vibe with this. Then next song is the title track, Throes of Joy in the Jaws of Defeatism. It's another great song. Same thing with Acting in the Gouged Faith. It's pretty much fucking rips. And then the album closes with A Belly Full of Salt and Spleen. And as soon as you couldn't expect more, I feel like as the listener is just not left feeling just elated, just like the sheer brutality and force of the band. And it just pretty much continues what they're known for. Now, overall, Throes of Joy in the Jaws of Defeatism by Napalm Death, another great addition to the discography. If I were to give a solid score, I'm probably going to give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of the new Napalm Death album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.